To err is human.
Come cry my shoulders.
To err on camera is entertainment. They say you should learn from your mistakes. Well, we've pulled 5 big ones from the expanded PokerStars archive. So maybe you can learn from these guys' mistakes instead.
Please don't bluff.
When you're convinced you're beat, it's tempting to muck your cards at Showdown. But in the Barcelona main event in 2010, Giuseppe Pantaleo learned a valuable lesson. So 2 big stacks go to the flop. And the flop is queen high. Nothing for either player.
This is a fairly safe flop to continuation bet. This only hits a queen and a club flush draw. You can bet and take it down. Or he can think about it and check back.
Another queen comes on the turn. It's also a 3rd club. And Lozano feels like he can steal it.
Giuseppe slowed down on the flop. Jesus is going to take a stab.
230,000.
Again, Giuseppe's going to think about this.
We saw him happily float against Chandra de Vries.
Yup, and it looks like that's what's going to go on here. Giuseppe has a cunning plan in store. He's going to float this turn with nothing to try to win this pot on the river.
They both have the same hand. Queens and deuces with a jack kicker.
The aggressor will probably win this pot.
Lozano is not shut down. He bets a second time.
And Giuseppe's reaching for chips. It looks like his plan is falling into place. He's going to raise Jesus off this chop pot.
Makes it 790,000.
How much?
If Jesus thinks Pantaleo's on the steal, can he find the courage to re-raise him?
Well, Jesus can't possibly call this river raise. He could only be good if Giuseppe was calling his turn bet with a complete air ball to bluff the river. To win, he needs to re-raise.
Call.
He's called!
Immediately. Well, it's going to be a chop pot.
Whoa, Pantaleo's just mucked.
Call de farol.
Giuseppe just forfeited the pot by mucking his hand, and it would have been a chop pot.
Yeah, but you don't think someone's going to be calling you with the same hand, do you?
That's exactly why he mucked.
I can't believe Lozano called there with jack high, and I can't believe he just mucked.
I had the jack high too. You saw it?
Well, if there's one lesson to be learned, never muck your cards until your opponent's hand has been revealed.
Bluff called off a chop. Yes, that actually happened. At number 4, Neil Farrell blasts off in full Feraldo fashion on the bubble of the 2014 Barcelona main event. Ollie Price calls out of the big blind with jack 8, and we're going 3-way to the flop. Top set for Lamprecht.
Hey, all right, you flopped a set, James Woods, from the hard way.
He checks. Price, who has nothing,
This is weird.
leads for 13,500.
Most folks are never leading anything here, but Ollie's no slouch. My guess is that this is part of an overall strategy we're not privy to yet.
Farrell calls with ace high.
Not surprising, Ollie's lead usually isn't very strong. Lamprecht is going to want to raise here, but I'm not sure he needs to. He's basically got a lock on this hand against even really strong ranges.
He's made it 36,500. Gets a fold from Price.
I'd be far more surprised to see Neil call now. He pretty much has bottom of his calling range to the original bet, let alone this one. Isn't that right, James Woods from Cat's Eye?
Call.
Well, I guess we're going to the turn.
No, and James Woods from Videodrome looks kind of sick about it. I don't know why.
8 of hearts on the turn. Puts a flush draw out there.
Should be a pretty easy shove for Lamprecht. He's got about half pot.
All in.
There he goes.
Ooh, piece of candy.
And I guess Farrell feels he's getting a good price.
He might think he has to call, and he probably hates it.
Could just be dead. This could be fun.
Calling on the flop was probably the worst decision by a Farrell since the movie Phone Booth. But unlike Phone Booth, this is not going to buy this Farrell a new house.
He calls.
Considering that.
To have the show. I did not think you would have that.
It's on TV.
And Neil Farrell is drawing dead. Lamprecht will double up here.
I would have lost all this stuff. You could even shove it anyway. That's fine. Nice hand.
Man, kind of lucky too.
What a bizarre hand.
Oh, bad news, Feraldo. Gotcha.
At number 3, it's another hand from Barcelona. Maybe it's the heat. In the Super High Roller in 2014, Martin Jakobsen did a Neil Farrell. We're going 3-way to the flop. And that flop has a 4 on it. A set for Coleman.
What's Martin doing? He should be checking here. This is bad timing.
He leads the flop for 77,000.
I like a flat call here from Coleman because I think Martin's donk leading this flop with a bad hand way more often than a good one. So if Dan raises, he probably gets 2 folds way too often, which you don't want. You want Martin to keep bluffing.
Coleman does just call. And side out, folds. We'll never know what he had. 10 on the turn. Jakobsen now with a gut shot.
Martin's probably never going to get a fold here unless the board runs out so badly for 4s that it makes his hand actually win.
He's betting again with just 9% equity. 155,000.
There's not much more reason for Dan to fold now than there was on the flop. 7-8 got there.
Once again, Coleman just calls. 627,000 in the middle. 1 card to come. And that card is a king. A set of 4s are good.
Yeah, I don't think Dan's ever folding. Hopefully Martin just gives up.
He bluff shoves.
Or he just blasts off. Probably not going to work.
Quick call from Coleman. And Jakobsen's out.
Yeah, you probably
got me, yeah.
Let me just calmly take a second before exiting this 50K tournament.
Martin Jakobsen, the eternal bridesmaid on the European Poker Tour.
Good luck, guys.
He'll be off to Vegas in November to compete at the World Series of Poker main event final table.
That was nice.
Huh?
That was a gift.
It was sick. Sick. I've never seen him doing something like this.
Yeah. That was ambitious.
Huh?
That was ambitious. You don't need to do stuff like that.
8-7.
Only against you, kid. Only against you.
Don't cry for either of those guys. Both won 8-figure scores at the WSOP that year. Now, guess where hand number 2 is from? Yes, more Barcelona buffoonery. In 2012, the year of the fins in hats, Nikolai Pobal forgot a cardinal rule at the final table of the main event.
You know, Pabal's supposed to be wearing the silver hat, but he didn't want to play the hat game.
And he claims he likes to party. The flop is king high with 2 hearts, top pair for ElkY, and the nut flush draw for Pobal.
That's a flop that's usually going to generate a lot of action. Pobal should have no problem c-betting here. Ace high is going to be ahead plenty, and if not, he's building a nice pot toward the nut flush.
Pobal does bet 450,000.
As you can see, even against top pair, he's not that big of a dog. There's Absolutely no reason ElkY should be folding top pair just yet. Maybe not even if another heart hits.
Yanni will call, and we go to the turn.
I bet he wishes he had a hat now.
3 of diamonds.
Pretty innocuous card.
ElkY checks top pair a second time. Pabal checks behind.
Opts to take the free card.
It's a heart on the river. Pabal now with the stone cold nuts. ElkY checks to him, and he checks behind. You can't do that.
Goes the nuts.
Wow, after playing for 5 days and 12 hours, mistakes like that can happen sometimes.
What he has? Second nuts?
No, he has the nuts. I don't have second nuts.
Then I leave it. One hand?
1 round.
No, 1 hour.
1 round.
It's actually against the rules to check back the nuts.
So we'll be playing the next hand when he's big blind.
When he's the big blind next, yeah, he can come back in.
Nikolai Pabal gets a 1 orbit penalty.
And for right now, you can just stand right here. It won't take long. It's 3 hands.
Yeah. Who the is this guy?
Well, controversially, we are leaving Barcelona for the conclusion of our countdown. The biggest head scratcher of all time comes from Poker After Dark. It takes a lot to make Phil Ivy's jaw drop, but that's exactly what happened during the first season of the show.
See that logo on the middle of the table, son?
Raise to 1200.
The logo I prayed with.
I think you would call it the St. Patrick.
Sure. Button raise, there's never anything.
Contrary to what
Anything
Patrick
close,
might think,
calling
Jennifer
speed.
has a real hand, and it just got better. She's flopped top set. Patrick flopped a pair of 10s with a gut shot straight draw.
Bet 2000. Check. Check.
Full house? I can't beat that.
I thought you had pocket kings. I was like,
I almost thought I had you.
Oh, surrounded by that lineup, you can't help but feel for her. Well, those are the top 5 mistakes that hopefully you won't repeat. Look out for more countdowns at PokerStars.tv.